Welcome to Founders Future, a podcast powered by Closers.io, where we dive into the journeys of innovative entrepreneurs and explore the road ahead for them and their companies. I'm your host, Jae Encarnacion, and in each episode, we uncover the stories behind impactful ventures, the challenges faced along the way, and the strategies driving their future growth. Today, we are thrilled to have Colin McDonald, co-founder of Not Therapy Coaching. Colin brings a unique blend of personal experience, a background in communications, and a passion for mentoring teens and young adults through life transitions. Based in New York, Not Therapy Coaching, founded in 2023, is redefining mentorship with personalized coaching and peer support, particularly for those navigating post-treatment challenges. We'll be exploring his founding story, how his business empowers clients, and his vision for scaling this mission-driven venture. So let's dive right in. Colin, welcome to Founders Future.
Hey, thank you, Jay. I'm super excited to be here. This is actually my first Founders podcast. I've been on a lot of mental health ones, so I'm excited.
Love it. I love it. Welcome. It's definitely a pleasure to have you on. I love what you're doing in this space. So super excited to get into it. I know our listeners are going to love it as well. So with that there, take us back to the beginning for our listeners here, Colin. What specific problem in the mental health or mentorship space really inspired you to start Not Therapy Coaching?
Yeah, definitely. I have to go back to when I was about 16, 18 years old. I went through a really intense mental health journey even before that. Was dealing with a lot of things that many people deal with in their teenage years, struggling with school, addiction, and eventually that led to me really struggling with my mental health
Hmm.
and relationship with my parents. And that ended up in me going to, from the time I was 15 until 16, I went to 8 different psych wards. I went to rehab. I had a suicide attempt, and then honestly, my parents just didn't know what to do. So they kind of were looking for alternative routes, and not sure how familiar you are with the world of wilderness therapy and therapeutic boarding schools, but I ended up getting sent away from the time I was 16 to 18. And these programs are wilderness therapy. I went to Southern Utah, lived off the land, hiking, backpacking, learning how to make fires with sticks, and then went to a super structured therapeutic environment where you go to therapy every day. It was in North Idaho, no phone, no internet, secluded from the world. But really, there's pros and cons. It was really challenging, but at the end of that, it helped me get into college. And from there, didn't become a founder right away. I'm 31 years old right now, and just took the typical, got a communications degree and worked in sales. I worked in the sports industry. That was kind of my dream at first. Being from Seattle, wanted to work from the Seattle Mariners and achieved that dream, and then went into tech sales and worked my way up into being like a head of sales for sales development. But then towards the end of that journey, just was really got into life coaching for myself, was going to retreats, getting into life coaching, and you kind of was searching for my purpose. And the dark side of the treatment experience, about 10% of the kids or teens that I went to my programs with have passed away due to mental health related issues. And I lost a close friend about 3 years ago and had this calling of, I want to help people that have been in the same situation as me. So started networking, reaching out to a therapist I had worked with, and had an opportunity to go to Spain and be a mentor. And while I was there, was read Alex Hormozi's book, $100 Million Offer, and just realized that right now the path is just you go to therapy, maybe you go to outpatient, you go to inpatient, then you go to rehab, and then maybe one of these programs. And therapy is only the only option. And there's this whole new world that I think is emerging of like mentorship, but really like lived experience mentorship, having someone older than you help guide you because they've been exactly in your shoes. I think with therapy, I'm not against therapy by any means. I went through a lot of it, but oftentimes like you're talking to your therapist and you don't even realize if the therapist knows what you've been through other than the schooling. And so a lot of this next generation, and I think anyone just wants someone that says, I've been in your shoes. I know where to go from here, and I'm going to give you, we call it the cheat codes to set you up for life. And while I was in Spain, I met my co-founder, Haley Caddis, who we're the power team behind this. And she went through the exact same experience as me, had founded a company before, didn't know how to do sales. And so we have the strengths I have aren't the strengths she has, but then the strengths she has aren't the ones I have. And so launched Not Therapy about a year and a half ago.
First and foremost, just want to say how incredible that journey is, that story is, and you should be just immensely proud of yourself to get through all of that, be where you are now, and having the drive and the wherewithal to want to help others that could be going through the same things that you were going through. So just incredible having you on the show. That's the beauty. And that's why I love being the host of the show, because so many different walks of life, personalities, and just look at how you're going to be able to change so many people's lives. It's amazing. So truly an honor to have you on, giving you a platform to talk about what you're doing and really just reach out to as many people as you can. With that, I definitely would love to understand a bit more of Not Therapy Coaching, exactly what you're doing for our listeners here. If there are any listeners that want to come and work with you, right, how are you really generating revenue today as far as your core offer goes? I know you have the personalized coaching. Is that one-on-one coaching, group coaching, peer support groups? How is it all structured for your clients? And also, who is the ideal client that you'd love to work with and have?
Yeah, with us working with the next generation and it being life coaching, unfortunately, we can't take insurance. So usually it's something that the parents are paying for. I think why we've had a lot of success to start, though, is we started very niche, right? We're talking about people transitioning out of these programs that Haley and I had gone to. But when we looked at someone transitioning out of a program, when you're in a program, you have a ton of structure. You're waking up at the same time every day. Having daily support, people who are always checking in with you, people who are making sure that you're achieving the things that you want. And you also have a goal of leaving treatment. So you have a bigger goal that you're working towards. And so when we first started, we're like, how do we like differentiate ourselves, either helping people avoid going to treatment or helping people transition out of treatment? Because when you're in treatment or your back's against the wall, you need someone to lay the map out for you and say, hey, what is it that you want to achieve? Like, we're very much in the mentality of putting the ball back in our client's court and actually believing that they have the answers. And if it's something that they're working towards, not something that their parents want, obviously with the parents being the customer and the kid being the client, we're going to take what the parents are wanting in consideration and look at some milestones that the parents want to have us hit. But then really it's about helping the kids break down their goals and then making a roadmap for them and holding them accountable to those goals. So every client we work with, when we first start working with them, we fly out and go spend 2 or 3 days with them. I work with a lot of the guys. Haley works with some of the girls. We're actually expanded, just hired our first 4 employees at the beginning of this year. So we got more coaches, an assistant, all the kind of stuff that you look at when you're scaling. But we go see them and we view it as having two of the most productive days you've had. So I'll take my clients to go cold plunge, sauna, get a workout in, and by the end of it, they're thinking really clearly, right? And so then we'll set out these goals for the next 3 months to a year. So we always start working with our clients for 3 months because we believe it takes that long to create new habits, create new mindset for yourself. And then once we're done with that visit, we create like a roadmap of what the next 12 weeks are going to look like, but then also what does the next year look like?
Hmm.
Then we present that to the family and get the parents buy-in and say, hey, Johnny, if you're able to do this, we'd be really excited about it. And so for the first time, we're asking them the path ahead. And then once that happens, the one thing that we offer is like a 7 day a week service where we're constantly in contact with our clients. We're checking in with them. We'll answer the phone when they're going through something. So we're helping them process things and get through things and teaching them about breath work and self-regulation in the moment and just giving them some proof of concept that they can get through really hard things in those moments. And then on top of that, we meet with them twice a week over Zoom and then like having check-ins. In the first month, if they're really struggling, maybe we're meeting with them every single day. So it's not your typical therapy where you're meeting with someone once a week and then so much can happen in that week, but that's the only time you can talk to your therapist and you can't talk to them outside of therapy. And also having that lived experience. All of our coaches has been through a similar experience to their clients. We don't work with anyone who doesn't think it would be helpful. And then as on top of that, we also host retreats. We have community support groups where our clients can come together. And it's like really the first time that they're able to be around a community of people that have been through the same experience as them. So that's kind of where we started. And now we offer group coaching that makes it into a full year program for the 9 months after they leave us. That includes just group coaching. It's more community based and then getting to go to retreats as well a couple times a year.
Just incredible where your mind is and really what you're trying to do and provide. It's going to really just change that next generation, having that support system. Just incredible what you're being able to do here, what you're bringing forward to the market. Talk to me a bit about being that you guys have been around for a year and a half now. What is working best for you right now, Colin, on the acquisition side? How are you getting new clients in consistently, whether it is referrals from your successes or social media, organic outreach, ads? What are you seeing on that front work best right now?
Yeah, so I think when we were first thinking of not therapy, we were like, the more niche we can be at the beginning, the better, right? And so then we started thinking about where are these parents that we want to reach out to. So right now, our business is completely built on inbounds. We haven't even dipped into social media marketing, paid ads, anything like that. When we're thinking about outreach, we're on parenting podcasts where the parents of our clients, our future clients, are listening. So we're going on there telling our stories, instilling some hope into these parents where we're giving them some structure that they can implement for free, but then get the idea of, oh, this might be easier if I can hire not therapy to help my kid with this. And a parent wants to see their kid succeed, but it's a lot easier to have someone else hold them accountable to help them maintain that relationship than them being the one enforcing the rules, making sure they're waking up on time, making sure they're going to school, getting their assignments in, whatever stage they're in. Our clients range from anywhere from 16 to about 22. So that big life transition around finishing high school, going to college, applying to college, anything like that. And we view ourselves as like a mental health concierge. Another big thing for us is we have been to conferences that we've spoken at where we're speaking about our journeys. It's very much built in like we didn't go to school for this, but I like to say we went to the school of hard knocks to learn the skills. And it's actually things that we've proven to ourselves that now we're proving with our clients. And really just getting in front of parents is the first step of it. Being on like the podcasts like this, I know this is more founders based. There's podcasts for parents that are sending their kids to treatment or speaking at parent conferences, things like that, where, even if two or three of those parents find it helpful and then our conversion rates are pretty high, that we can turn those into clients. And ultimately, the way I view it is anyone who comes into the pipeline, it's like a life or death thing. If I can close this family, there's a higher chance that I can change this family dynamic and set this kid up for the future, even if it's only in a 12-week period.
Incredible. With that there, Colin, help us understand a bit how you are approaching the idea of scale and scaling this up and really growing the business, bringing in significantly more clients on a predictable side. Is that when you are going to start doing more ads and social media? How are you approaching the idea of scaling?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're in scale mode right now. In the first year, we already became a multiple six-figure business, and we've almost already done as much revenue as we did last year. In the first 5 months of this year, we're like $50,000 away from being going past the revenue we did last year. And so when you think about scaling, like obviously it's more coaches. So we've started that process. But at the same time, you can't scale into a multi-million-dollar business by just having a bunch of one-on-one coaches. So that's why we launched our community program. I actually went to an Alex Hormozy retreat at the beginning of the year, and I got to get up there and ask Layla questions specifically about our business. And she said the number one thing right off the back would be group coaching. The group coaching is a lower price point. We can bring people into that. It's lower touch. It frees myself and Haley up to work on more of the brand type of things. But then if we look in the future, we have a goal in the next 3 years to be working with 10,000 families. And so where that goes to the next thing is really curriculum. Like, how are we getting into alternative schools or school districts where we're actually like teaching what not therapy is all about to the masses? And that could look like webinars, that could look like us speaking at schools. And when you think about a coaching business, there's obviously like the key offer of one-on-one coaching, there's group coaching, but then there's like speaking events and things like that. So we're really thinking about it of we really have been working on the culture and the setup of what our company looks like right now so that they're bought into this vision. Gen Z in general, and I think mental health is just somewhat declining in a lot of people, especially with COVID. Most of our clients were in middle school, high school during COVID, where you're learning how to be social. Your prefrontal cortex is really in the beginning stages of development. And so how can we impact those people who are going to see the ripple effects of it, but also the people who are now addicted to their screens, not getting enough exercise. And so really, I believe it's like not just about building a business, but it's about changing the trajectory for the next generation who is our future leaders as well.
Percent. It's just such an incredible way that you're looking at it and just doing so much yourself, as you mentioned, going to the conference yourself and really immersing yourself in what you can do to keep growing and scaling and doing incredible numbers from what you just said. Amazing to hear the success that you are seeing already. I'm just going to keep on compounding with everything you're putting into it. So talk to us a bit here, Colin, about the sales process for you. I know that you just hired a couple coaches, an assistant. It's you and Haley. What is that actually do you have? Are you guys running everything from the sales side, marketing side? Do you have a sales team, marketing team, or is that you guys running the show on that front?
Yeah, right now I would say our biggest bottleneck is the key man of the bit does the business run if Haley and I aren't working. I'm more on the business development side. She's more on the operations. So right now our focus is getting more coaches in so that we can get our clients and Haley and I have to coach less of our clients. And so then we really get that down pat. And so right now I'm running the sales process. What it usually looks like is a parent reaches out to us. We learn about their kid's journey, talk about past client success, and then really where we could fit in. And then after that, it's really about introducing their child to one of our coaches, really getting them bought in. Like I said a few minutes ago, we don't work with anyone who doesn't want to work with us because it's really more suggestion based and practice based. It's not like we don't want anyone to be forced to work with us. Sometimes a parent's really going to recommend it, but if the kid says, I don't want to do it, then we won't work with them. But in all honesty, it's usually probably like a two-call close with talk to the parents, talk to the kids, maybe talk to the parents two or three times, but really just enrolling them in this idea that we can help change not just their kids' dynamics in their life, but their family dynamics as a whole. And so I think in the future, maybe we'll hire setters and then get a closer, but it's just really hard to replicate some of the intuitive things that I know just have being in sales for 10 years. And then also the things that Haley knows having been a previous founder. So I think that's the phase we're in right now. Like we really got proof of concept last year, but now it's like the scaling of like, how do you keep the culture? How do you hire the right people? What is the avatar of who we're trying to hire to look like? So that's really our biggest like challenge right now. The one thing I love about being a founder is we don't have to report to anyone. We haven't taken on any capital or anything like that. The goals that we set are just the goals that we make up for ourselves. And so for me right now, on the days where maybe we're having a slower month, just knowing that like this journey is like what I wanted for myself and what Haley and I wanted in the vision, and we're actually like exceeding anything that we thought was possible. So I think it's like good challenges to have, but I think for us, it's really that key man factor of how are Haley and I getting removed from the business, but really having a funnel and a process so that if I wanted to take some time off, that I wouldn't be worried about everything crashing and burning.
Exactly. And I think that's the best place to have your mind right now as a founder. How can you really take this to a point where you are providing that high quality service that you know you can provide, but you don't have to be so intertwined, right? And wearing so many different hats. Absolutely understand there. It looks like you're putting all the pieces in place to get yourself to a point where you're not so intertwined in everything. So with that there, you gave me a really good idea of that bottleneck and where that is. And also really gave me a good idea of your vision, right? And taking it, wanting to bring on more coaches, build more on that community program, the group coaching, have 10,000 families in the next 3 years. It's just incredible what you're doing there. So I would definitely love to know on your side of things, from your perspective, how do you see the coaching industry as a whole and its evolution in the coming years, Colin, especially with your focus on peer-driven mentorship? What are you doing to really put not therapy coaching at the forefront of that evolution?
Yeah, I think we're not trying to be gurus and say this is what the path that you should take is. It's really about empowering our clients that they already have the answers that and we're just holding them accountable to achieving the life that they want to achieve. We have like somewhat of a framework, but our framework is very much like peer-to-peer mentorship from someone that's been through it. That's something easy to achieve. Finding community of like-minded individuals, helping you build healthy habits, and then also helping you maintain a baseline of trust with your parents. So that's not something that like looks a certain way with everyone. It's very customizable, but it's still, we call it like the pillars of success, the pillars of transition, that it can look different for everyone. And so it's not a one size fits all. Everyone's going to be struggling with different things. And I think oftentimes you really need to empower someone to take change into their own hands, and you're more of a guide, right? You're more of like laying out a map for them and just teaching them how to walk on the path. And so I think that's where the coaching industry I've seen maybe has some downfalls is like this more guru, like I have all the answers. I don't believe that I have all the answers, but I believe that I can help someone find the answers that they're looking for. And I think too, like there's so much stuff in the coaching industry around I have these answers by my program. Like for us, we're very much, if something's not working, like we'll refund families and stuff. We're not trying to just make this a huge cash cow business. It's really a purpose-led business. It's something that both me and Haley have gone through. And so we're trying to solve a problem that we wish we could have had the support in when we were that age. In a way, too, I built this for my younger self. Haley and I both could have really used this business. And so for me, waking up every day and knowing that I'm impacting lives, and even on Mother's Day, like receiving text messages from my clients and former clients where they're saying, this Mother's Day, I'm just happy that my kid's alive. That's why we're doing what we're doing. And it's not just like I'm trying to be a coach to be a coach. Like I'm trying to be a coach in an area and more of a mentor in an area that I'm truly passionate about and being able to change lives. And I think that's what coaching should be about, is like, how are you changing lives and not just viewing this as like a way to make money?
Just incredible. It just clear as day your passion for what you're doing, just the beautiful soul that you have. Colin, truly an honor having you on the show. And it's clear as day why you're going to continue to see success. Just one more question for you here, Colin, to wrap up the show. Really would love to hear this from you. And that's going to be as far as advice goes. Someone that's been through so much like yourself and is at the place that you are in life right now, persevered through everything. What is some advice that you can give to our listeners tuning in right now, other founders, entrepreneurs who are either just starting out in business or in the middle of it and want to have that drive and passion that you have right now? What can you give them before we wrap up?
Yeah, I think it's really about what makes you unique. Like when you look at your life's journey, what is something that makes you unique that you've always found is like something special in your journey? And like it ha hasn't always been great. Like before I found it, when I was in the process of finding out, like I got in massive credit card debt when I was like trying to figure it out. I had to move back in with my parents. And for me, it was really just this calling that I was like, I think this is what I'm meant to do, and also getting support from my community, my family to go all in on this and be able to provide that. I had to figure out how to get out of debt and things like that. And it was causing a lot of anxiety. But I just also think that there's this huge piece of you only live once. And I know it's cliche to say, but why not try? There's more opportunities than ever. Like I love everyone likes Gary Vee, but he had this video about this guy who was like a cotton candy, makes cotton candy. And like before the last 5 or 6 years, being someone who makes cotton candy, even if you run a little business, is not going to be a huge game changing thing. But then he made videos of him making these like cotton candy and animals and stuff like that. And then he went viral and now he's like a millionaire because he found out what made him unique. And so it's just for me, like obviously my business is very niche and like my story is very unique to me, but we all have a story. And so, what about your story can you use to impact people? Because I feel like what the world needs right now is impactful people. And so, just really looking into that and then thinking about how to create a business. Like, another thing I'll say for anyone who's starting a business, like, who are the people that inspire you? Read their books. For me, Alex Hormozzi's $100 million offer, like, really helped me create the frameworks for not therapy, and then reading $100 million leads. Like there are so many resources, and it doesn't mean quit your job and then figure it out. I actually got laid off and then was like really inspired to figure out what my life's purpose was. But for anyone, it's you can start thinking about it right now. And it's like the risk reward of the risk of not changing anything and just being in the corporate cycle of everything, but the reward of like actually being able to create your life and create freedom in your life by doing the thing that you're actually passionate about. And I do believe that if you're passionate about something, like the money will come.
Just incredible on that front. I mean, with that right there, that is going to wrap up another inspiring episode of Founders Future. Colin, I truly can't thank you enough coming on the show, sharing this incredible journey and your insights with us. Again, clear as day, just the passion that you have, the drive that you have, an incredible soul that you have about you. So, again, thank you so much for coming on, sharing your journey with our listeners. And I will be keeping up with everything you're doing. I know you're going to do some incredible things in this world. So, again, thank you so much. To our listeners, if you enjoyed this episode, which I know so many of you have, as did I, don't forget to subscribe to Founders Future wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. You can also check out Not Therapy Coaching at nottherapy.me for more information on personalized coaching, and follow Colin on LinkedIn at linkedin.com/in/Colin Mac 93. For more resources and insights, visit closers.io, where we're dedicated to helping businesses accelerate their growth through trained appointment setters and world-class marketing systems. Until then, keep climbing, and we'll see you on the next one.